Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to tune in to BNB Chain's 2024 Q1 Hackathon workshop. So today is workshop day 5. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone that is tuning in all around the world. And we have a very interesting project speaking today. But first off, let's introduce our first presenter for the day from DoraHacks. So let's welcome Eric to introduce himself. Hi, Eric.
Thank you. Hey
Nice.
guys. Yeah, so great to be here. I'm Eric from DoraHacks and Dora Factory. So I think it's our great pleasure to support the BNB Hackathon as we always have. And I think today I will be talking about some recent infrastructure development from Dora Factory side for decentralized governance.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please go on with the presentation and see you later.
Cool. Yeah, so very honored to be here. And it's actually great to see BNB Chain is hosting a year-round hackathon, which is very helpful to build up the ecosystem. Yeah, so I think the ecosystem has been thriving over the past few years, and we're seeing a lot of adoptions in many countries across the world, especially in those countries that were underrepresented in the traditional financing era. And BNB Chain is currently doing very well and playing a big role in those countries, helping thousands and millions of people having have access to the financial system that are decentralized. So other than DeFi or GameFi or other very popular topics, I think today I will be talking about something that is not that popular yet, but still very important in the decentralized world, and that's what Dora Factory has been doing for the past few years. So that's decentralized governance. So first of all, why is decentralized governance matter? And I think in the real world, it's quite obvious that decision making is something important to all of us, right? Because important decisions are related to many things in the real world. Whether you're deciding over some important issues in your country or in your community, or maybe that's related to funding allocation. You want to distribute funds across across multiple initiatives, and very similar situations are happening in the crypto world. So within DAOs and protocol stacks, the communities of the DAOs or the community of the protocols, they need to make critical decisions. And in a decentralized setting, the community members are normally making that decision together. And very often you will be distributing funds. And the goal of decentralized governance is to help efficiently and fairly distribute those funds to community initiatives, whether that's public goods or investing in some ventures, or just paying for work efforts from different vendors. And the development of decentralized governance is critical, and it will have real-world impact later. So if it could be important and useful in the decentralized communities, it will also be important later in the real world. And what we call the tangible governance initiatives, like elections, could also use the technology stack from decentralized governance. And so for blockchain, I think there are two very specific features that can be provided to enable decentralized governance. And one feature is privacy. The other feature is collusion resistance. These two features are related to two fundamental features offered by the blockchain technology. The first feature is that the decentralization of a blockchain basically ensures that you can give a particular application ordering, right? So because the infrastructure is decentralized and any message casted to the infrastructure has a specific timestamp, and the information casted to the blockchain cannot be changed. And secondly, with the recent development of zero knowledge proof technology, we can create additional useful features, because with zero knowledge proof, you can reveal something. You can prove something without revealing that thing. And combining the timestamping feature and the feature provided by zero knowledge proofs, we can actually create new kind of blockchain-based governance tech stack. So one such framework is MESI, which is minimum anti-collusion infrastructure. MESI was first proposed in the Ethereum community. It's actually a pretty simple framework for anti-collusion voting. And I will go through the basic steps of MESI here. There are two groups of users, and one is called operator. The operator is basically the administrator or manager of this voting round. And there are a lot of users who can cast their votes. So in a MESI round, there are on-chain parts and there are off-chain parts. And basically, a MESI round takes a few steps. The first step is called sign up, where the users can be whitelisted in any logic, and they can sign up to this MESI round. And after that, the users can vote for their favorite options. It can be anything, but we represent those things as voting options. So the voters can cast their votes on chain. And in a MESI voting round, the message casted on chain will be encrypted by the operator's key. So other than the operator, actually nobody can see what the message actually is. So in the voting period, the users will be casting their messages until the voting period ends. And after that, the operator downloads all of the messages from the chain and starts a tallying process. And the tallying process is first, the operator will decrypt all of the messages into plain text. And the operator will tally the votes and get the final result. And the operator will post the final result without revealing each individual's preference. So in order to ensure that the results posted by the operator are true, the operator will generate a zero-knowledge proof and verify this zero-knowledge proof on-chain. And that concludes a Macy round. So although it's a very simplistic framework, it's also very powerful because with Macy, we can achieve privacy and collusion resistance at the same time, which is pretty hard actually in the traditional sense of voting and governance. And given that, actually, in the real world, we're using a lot of ancient technologies. Even in many general elections, we're using ancient technologies to vote. The framework of Macy on the blockchain will be pretty powerful. And to implement Macy, actually, we already have a tech stack. And the basic layer is zero-knowledge proof, the cryptographic series of the things we're going to use, and the second layer is we have a wide range of tools, libraries that we can use. We have compilers for circuits. We have libraries for the hash functions and elliptic curves and other cryptographic primitives that we have to use to implement Macy. We have the toolkits to implement ZK snark and other zero-knowledge proof schemes in different languages. And based on that, Macy is a particular logic that we have to implement on the circuit level. And there are currently a few versions of Macy. If you want to use Macy, there are a few versions you can choose. And one example is Macy 1.0, developed by Ethereum PSC group. It's one of the earliest versions of Macy. And DoraHex originally had a lightweight version of Macy. It was implemented specifically for our quadratic funding rounds happening on different blockchains. And there is recently developed Dora Volta, which is for the multi-chain world and general purpose Macy voting rounds. So actually, we already have a lot of Macy use cases here. And in 2022, East Denver, I think it's the first medium-sized community event adopted Macy. And we deployed a Macy quadratic voting round on Polygon. And that round was pretty interesting and successful. We whitelisted all the members from SporkDAO, and they were able to vote anonymously with Macy. And later, there were other communities like OpenSea and 0x adopted Macy. And on the BNB chain, we have an ongoing initiative called Dora Grand DAO, and Dora Grand DAO is the long-term initiative to support Web3 frontier research and ventures, and it has been running for 5 rounds, and this Macy round is deployed on BNB chain. And other than hackathon judging and quadratic voting, we do have other potential use cases in the crypto community. One example is quadratic funding. Actually, DoraHex has been working with BNB Chain during the past few years on multiple quadratic funding rounds. And we had the BSC grant, we had the Central and Eastern Europe Hackathon, and later we had Revelation Hackathon. I think that hackathon by itself distributed around $600,000 to many projects, which were later successful. And in quadratic funding, we could use MESE to create collusion-resistant governance so that the quadratic funding rounds could be more efficient and more fair. And other than open source funding, we can also use MESE in other occurrences. One example is the daily protocol governance. Sometimes in many protocols, the governance process is critical. It distributes a huge amount of funding, or it makes very important software upgrade decisions of the protocol, which could affect the future of that protocol. And actually, when you look at many ecosystems, the current way of doing this governance is mostly just proof of stake, and you can see everyone's votes, and that brings a lot of problems because people can bribe each other, and we can actually see in many ecosystems where when they have important governance decisions to make, and some whales could come out and they can actually bribe other people, either through airdropping or through other types of incentives, and there's no way to stop that. So if we can have private and anti-collusion voting, the governance process of many ecosystems could be more efficient, and then we will have more, we'll have clear and fair, more fair governance processes. So, so given that the decentralized governance protocol is very important, one thing we will have to do is to generalize MESE so that MESE can be used by more communities and more use cases, especially use cases outside the DoraHex platform and use cases outside open source funding. And that's something we have been working on over the past few months. We recently released Dora Volta, and the goal of Dora Volta is to make MESE and decentralized governance accessible to every community. So in order to have a generalized version of MESE interface, we actually have to do a few things. First, we have to make MESE deployment very easy. So every community can easily deploy a MESE round. And secondly, we have to create some easy to use user experience for users to interact with the round. For example, the users have to vote for their favorite options, and we have to have interfaces for these users to vote for their options. And lastly, the process of tallying, generating proofs, and verified proofs, those require the operators originally to understand deeper into the code base, and the operator process was pretty complicated, and we have to simplify that process. So I have to create some sort of scripts for the operators so that they can tally, generate proofs, and verify easier. Yeah, so here is what Dora Volta is doing. For the deployment, the operator, we have a UX for the operator. So if you go to Dora Volta, you can create and manage a Macy run fairly easily just by using the UI. And the UI actually allows you to select different types of voting mechanisms. You can configure various parameters like the name of the round, the max number of voters, the max number of options, the start and end date, etc. And after that, you can deploy a Macy run just from the UI. You do not have to interact with any CLI, or as an operator, you do not have to use terminal. And secondly, we do have a user UX. So for simple runs, the communities can just use our general UI to vote for their project or other voting options. So you can just use this UI to vote. And one important concept here is voice credit. So in a Macy round, an operator assigns voice credit to the whitelisted or set of addresses. Right? So an address can have different numbers of voice credits, and they can use their voice credits to vote for their favorite options. And the reason why we have to employ voice credit is that there might be different voting mechanisms. So obviously in a one person, one vote or proof of stake type of voting scheme, the voice credit, like number of voice credit you have equals the number of votes. But if you have a quadratic funding round, or you have a quadratic voting round, then you can convert voice credit into the actual votes. So the voice credit concept is pretty important here. But after all, this UI can provide a basic interface for users to interact with simpler Macy round. But for more complicated Macy rounds, I think eventually the communities can create their own UI to interact with the smart contract. And lastly, the operator script. I think this is the most important part to simplify Macy usage, right? So originally the operator has to, so after the round, the operator has to do a lot of things, and so the operator has to process the messages, has to tally the votes, and generate zero knowledge proof and verify the zero knowledge proof. So we were creating a set of scripts that the operator could use to greatly simplify everything here. So what the script is doing is following. So in the first place, the script can help prepare for the key, which depends on the voting logic, the circuit the Macy run is using, and the script helps download and decrypt all the Macy messages from the blockchain and help tally the votes and compute the results. And after that, the script generates zero knowledge proofs for message processing, and the script also helps generate ZK proofs for tallying. So these are two separate sets of ZK proofs. And finally, it submits all of the zero knowledge proofs to a smart contract and verify the proofs. So in practice, the script we're providing encapsulates all of the things I just mentioned into one terminal command. So as an operator, you can just do npm run tally. So the script will just do everything for you. If everything goes well, if the tallied results is correct, and which helps you generate a correct zero knowledge proof, and then the script will upload this zero knowledge proof on chain, and the smart contract will be able to verify that smart contract that zero knowledge proof. And in that case, from the Volta front end, you will see the run is closed. Otherwise, the tally and the verification process will just be will be failing, and it will not change the status. So currently the Dora Volta front end is more like a explorer where you can see every Macy run, and you can see every round's transactions, and all the transaction histories will be shown here. But also you can use this front end to deploy and manage your round. Yeah, so that's pretty much for Dora Volta, and as an operator, like a community manager, you can use Dora Volta to create your own Macy round. And in the future, we'll add more decentralized governance protocols into Dora Volta so that people can create their own voting rounds and the governance rounds from Dora Volta very easily. And as a user, you can use our interface to either interact with the smart contract, or you can query the results and status from the smart contracts. So these are the infrastructures Dora Factory team is developing here. And at the BNB Hackathon, we're very glad to provide a special bounty, which is to build a BNB Chain IBC channel to help BNB Chain and Dora Volta connect with each other, so that the BNB Chain users can IBC transfer assets from and to BNB Chain. Like transfer from to between BNB Chain and Dora Volta, so that the BNB community can use Dora Volta to perform decentralized governance. And we highly encourage hackers and developers from this hackathon to imagine some tech stack to enable the IBC channel between BNB Chain and Dora Volta. I think one thing that is also worthy to take into consideration is that there is a fusion event happening on the BNB chain, where the beacon chain and the execution layer is merging into one chain, right? So after the merge, the protocols will be changed, and maybe we should think about how we implement this IBC channel after that change. So lastly, hope you enjoy Dora Volta. So if you want to interact with Dora Volta, feel free to use this URL. And we do have a developer faucet where you can get some Dora tokens if you're a Dora Hex user, and that should be enough to test Dora Volta and deploy a Macy round and play around with our infrastructure. For other information, you can just use the QR codes and follow the latest information from Dora Factory team. Hope you enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric. Yeah, that's right. I think BNB Chain and Dora Factory have been working together for a long time. So we look forward to more works together. And I think the industry is very new. So it is very nice to have Eric, an architect and developer, to share the technical details. You don't get a lot of technical details on Web3 development. So once again, hope this helped the developers tuning into the workshop day 5. Thank you so much, Eric from Dora Factory. Do check that out for more details.
Thank you, Walter.
Thank you. All right, now speaking of like Web3 industry being new, I think many could not have thought of it, whereby Web3 evolved from decentralized finance and all the way into decentralized gaming. So this is my favorite topic, gaming. I think everyone knows. Happy to talk about the Web3 gaming, especially with our pioneers in the blockchain space. We're inviting 3 projects to come on board to chat with us. Yep, here they are. All right, so without further ado, maybe each of you can introduce about yourself and your maybe some brief details about your project. Let's start with Cellular, Eric.
Hi, glad to be here. This is Eric from Cellular, core contribution of Cellular. And I think Cellular is a quite unique game. It's a fully on-chain strategy game that you play like the god to cultivate the on-chain life from the cells and employing various strategies to survive and compete with each other. And we are glad to be selected into the latest round of Binance Incubator program. And we have launched our first game on OPBNB testnet, and you can try it now. And we are plans to release more fully on-chain games in the future. Yes, that's Cellular. Thanks.
That is great. Thank you. Like a completely new genre of games, fully on-chain games. Interesting to have Cellular on board. Next up, maybe gaming, Blake.
Hi guys, thanks so much for having me. My name's Blake, I'm from Gaming, I'm the head of Web3 marketing. Gaming is pretty unique in what it does. It actually is a gaming platform that doubles as a crowdsourced GPU sharing system. What we have done as part of our flagship marketing strategy to onboard the next millions of users is we have also grown an esports organization called the Gaming Gladiators. We've won 53 top 3 placings in the last 12 months. We've attained 12 billion impressions over the last year. And yeah, we're actually like really on track for a great year ahead. So what we are in essence is effectively a project that merges gaming, AI, and deep in. And to date, we hold what's probably the world's largest source of decentralized GPUs with over, I believe it's 46,000 monthly active users, making us the biggest deep in player in the world, which is pretty amazing for GPUs. So excited to be building with BNB Chain. We are the one and only Web3 gaming ambassadors of BNB Chain with our Gaming Gladiators esports organization. And that's obviously super exciting for us. Proud to be wearing the BNB Chain logo on the right-hand side shoulder. So yeah, that's us.
Yes, super exciting. Like just repeating what Blake said, I think we are very proud of each other in the space, whereby gaming is our Web3 esports and gaming ambassadors. BNB Chain's logo is on the Gaming Gladiators jersey, so very proud of them. Glad to be working together. Welcome on board. So next up, Nine Chronicles. Yoshi, please introduce yourself.
Hey, this is Yosh. I lead GameFi at Planetarium Labs, the creator of Nine Chronicles, which is the first fully on-chain and open-sourced idle MMORPG game that has been running over 3 years. Thanks for having me here today, and excited to meet fellow builders, projects, and communities. So to briefly introduce our project, Nine Chronicles is an idle fantasy MMORPG game. We first launched the pitch version in 2020. And in November last year, we also launched the mobile version on both Android and iOS. With our mobile release, we saw over 250K downloads, and the game ranked top 2 on Google Play and top 1 on the Apple App Store in South Korea, which are very meaningful milestones for a Web3 game. And all of this was possible thanks to our incredible, enthusiastic community. And going back to the game, what makes this really stand out is that we are 100% on-chain and also open-sourced. So which means that players can build their own version of Nine Chronicles and shape, sustain, and expand the ecosystems without relying on the original developers to keep the game alive and evolve. So I would expect like more users from BNB Chain to our game ongoing, and that's about it.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice. You guys are gaining a lot of traction on BNB Chain. I think it's a very nice representative of BNB Chain gaming. So yeah, let's hop into the first question to discuss. So yeah, we're going to talk about the progress of blockchain technology. We had layer ones all around, and eventually we're evolving into having more stuffs like layer two, which in BNB's case, just to introduce, we have the OP-BNB, which is almost 10 times cheaper on gas fees and 2 or more times faster in transaction speed. So I would like to ask all of you, like, what are your thoughts on the progress of blockchain technology such as OP-BNB and even Greenfield? To introduce Greenfield as well is a Web3 decentralized data, Web3 data decentralized blockchain space, which is sort of like you save data in decentralized nodes in a true Web3 manner. And the interesting thing is OP-BNB, Greenfield, and BSC all uses BNB as gas. So this creates the BNB chain ecosystem. So what do you think about these technology improvements, and how is it beneficial for the gaming industry? So yeah, anyone would like to start first? Maybe Cellular?
Yeah, sure. And I think OPBNB is well known for its minimal gas fees and rapid, efficient transaction throughput. And I think it's highly suitable for gaming, especially for fully on-chain game as we build. Because Cellular, as a fully on-chain game, is demand frequent transaction processing. And of course, it's open source. And we are committed to continuously developing and enhancing the game content and the user experience on OPBNB to push the boundaries forward. So, and on the other side, the greenfield also is important for Cellular because we are building on top of NFTs. So different kind of the game mechanism and different kind of gameplay are all built on top of NFTs. So the metadata of the NFT should be storaged in the greenfield. So that is very comparable with the fully on-chain and very comparable with the OPBNB. Yeah, that's what I think about this. Thanks.
Nice. Thank you for the inputs. I think that's very valuable. So maybe next up, gaming, could you share your views on the blockchain technologies?
Could you repeat the question for me, please?
Yeah, so the question would be that blockchain technology have been progressing. So we have like layer twos and even Web3 decentralized data storage space like Greenfield. So how do these technology improvements in blockchain benefit the gaming industry? What are your views on it?
I believe, I guess one point to touch on is ownership. I think ownership is a huge part of the blockchain industry that we're able to give to gamers that is otherwise unattainable in a normal sense. Because with ownership of your own assets in games comes like transposable assets across different games and across different chains as well. And so, obviously BNB, great contender for the a blockchain to be able to make that happen, given its low gas fees. We're providing gamers with something that's kind of a bit unprecedented in terms of what the bigger brands offer when gamers want to engage more or indulge more in the game, if they're buying skins or if they're buying different sort of like unlock boxes or level ups or armor, weapons, whatever it is, you name it. I feel like the ability to be able to actually own your own in-game assets, hold on to them, and either sell them at a later date for either a profit or just like a rebate on what you paid for it because somebody else wants it. I think that's beautiful. I think that's amazing. If we could like paint that into a picture of like what that might look like, I always love to refer back to the movie Ready Player One. I think they've depicted that in a very like sort of I guess futuristic sense of what that might look like one day. So yeah.
Yeah, very nice. I like the movie too. So yeah, I think great points from both Cellular and gaming on like the ownership and the transacting of assets. And OPBB basically like it increases it at a faster rate at cheaper gas fees, right? So that is a great point so far. So yeah, Yosh, Nine Chronicles, would love to hear your views.
Sure. Some of the few top challenges that Web3 gaming development faces are like scalability, speed latency, and gas fee and decentralized storages. And these challenges are being tackled by various teams and projects, which is not only beneficial to the gaming industry, but also critical to Web3 gaming development itself. So not only for like fully on-chain games, but also any games that would like to benefit from the Web3 technologies, those studios need to have those kind of infrastructure so that, such as OPBNB, where it has like tremendous speed and as I said, like based on OpenStack, it's an event compatible. It's more easier for any game studios to integrate their game into, and as well as a Greenfield, which is like a decentralized like storage system. It's not. I mean, it's not a technology that should be developed by a game studio itself. It's gotta be there as an infrastructure for a certain ecosystem. So those are not only beneficial and also critical to when studios are developing their own games. So I would expect like to see more of these infrastructure related projects coming up in the Web3 gaming industry. And that's it.
That is great. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Yosha. Definitely, I think all these things are coming together. Just to share more information for OPBNB, our engineers are still continuously trying to like improve it further, having lower gas, faster transactions. I think last month, December, OPBNB is actually one of the most transacted layer 2 blockchains out there. So just sharing with all developers out there, definitely, and it's EVM compatible. So yeah, I think it is a great chain to consider for development, especially for this hackathon. We're focusing on the 3 ecosystems, right? BSC, BNB Smart Chain, OPBNB, our layer 2, and Greenfield. So with that, actually, the 3 guests we have here today are all very special. So let's ask specific questions about them for our audiences to learn more. They are very interesting Web3 projects. So first off, for gaming, right? I think we would love to hear more, whereby you mentioned about Gaming Gladiators as the esports arm at gaming. I think that is very exciting. So would you like to share more information about the connections between gaming and what do you do with an esports team in the Web3 space? And perhaps even you mentioned AI, right? So yeah, feel free to share what are the extra stuffs that you guys are building in the Web3 space.
Yeah, would love to. So, I guess, before I jump straight into that, the reason why we exist is to provide computational power for the world, right? And we figured out that the largest dormant supply of GPUs, which provide can provide computational power, sits idle in the PCs of everyday PC gamers, right? And it's incredible, right? So obviously we've built this gaming platform, and the way that the Gaming Gladiators comes into it and everything like that is to allow us to actually effectively have, one, the credibility to onboard gamers onto our platform so that they can trust us and obviously feel as though they're part of something much bigger. And we have obviously a huge fan base with the Gaming Gladiators, so that's pretty amazing. I know that you are, Walter, which is awesome. And so bringing on the next millions of gamers is what we plan to do there. How are we sort of integrating that with Web3? Well, for us, being able to actually reward users for sharing their GPU with us for monetization, the way we do that is we use Web3 tech, right? And so it's very difficult to airdrop fiat to the bank accounts of users around the world doing that for us. So that's obviously out of the equation, the usual Web2 traditional ways of paying people. So we're using Web3 tech by being able to use, right now, it is a stable coin that we're using, USDC. However, given that that's problematic in different local tax economies and not always accepted, we are switching to a token model, which will be GMRX. And now GMRX will be on BNB Chain, which is super exciting. And so we will be using that as part of the way that we're continuing to do that, just switching the type of token that we reward to users so that we have a broader reach on the world and who we're able to reward for sharing their GPU with us. The way that we also integrate AI into that is, so for all the computational power that you see with Gaiman, the platform, we monetize in a number of different ways. One is through powering blockchain technology. We have the ability to create node networks. We do mining as well. We also have the ability to complete rendering jobs for a number of different companies that require that, such as meteorologists, universities, different AI companies for photo generative services that they offer. If you can think of Midjourney as an option, they're the types of people that we go after. And then also powering LLM models, language learning models, such as ChatGPT, great example. For context, we don't yet power them, but we hope to one day. And even if you can think of how that sort of area is really heating up at the moment, Meta or Zuckerberg just spent $10.5 billion on GPUs. And Sam Altman, founder of ChatGPT, or OpenAI, I should say, is now reported to be raising $8 billion to buy $8 billion to buy more GPUs for computational power. So it's obviously a massive thing. And I believe that Web3 really brings it all together because it allows us to be able to reward users for being able to plug their GPUs into our network and start earning straight away. And the good thing is with us is that everything that we talk about, we've already built. It's already live. We have 300,000 downloads, over 46,000 monthly active users. We've got a Game and Gladiators esports organization that helps us onboard more gamers. There's a number of other ways that we do that as well, but like obviously as part of the flagship marketing strategy, we believe that it's a really effective method. So that's sort of how we bring it all together. Hope that answers that question, Walter.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely exciting as a gamer. Like I can put my GPU right out of my desk now to work, right, and leveraging on Web3 technologies. I can contribute to the AI side of things and so on. I think definitely exciting to see the growth of gaming. So next up for Nine Chronicles. All right, Nine Chronicles. You guys are very successful on BNB Chain. You're doing mobile gaming soon, and you're doing mobile gaming right now. And we would like to learn more about the success. Whereby, we think that based on general statistics, that Nine Chronicles has also a huge success in the South Korean side of things. So we would love to look into your minds, what are the views on future Web3 mobile gaming or gaming in general in Korea? Do you think Web3 gaming will be very strong in Korea?
Sure. First of all, we're happy to be loved by BNB Chain users. Nine Chronicles has been on them rate as top 5 BNB Chain games for the last 4 months. Thanks to all of those users and who loves our games. And back to the topic, in South Korea is huge in both gaming and Web3 technologies. Here we have multiple AAA game studios and publishers and 5G networks as infrastructure, and a lot of players equipped with the latest smartphones, which is very powerful hardware devices. And even one of the biggest esports leagues that are also in South Korea, as well as one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world, is also in Korea. So I think it's only a matter of time in terms of until we see a game with brilliant narrative and gameplay to hook both the Web2 and Web3 players, especially in this region. In particular, Web3 has its own nature of blending tokenomics into games. That's kind of a must, which will make those Web3 games more interesting and more immersive for the users. Because I mean, if you work hard, you play hard, if you support them hard, and you do get a return not only things only in game, but also things in Web3 on a blockchain that to being owned by yourself. So that's my basic point of view, and that's why South Korea has a more potential to have future of Web3 mobile gaming and general gaming.
Thanks a lot for sharing. Definitely looking forward to this area, South Korean gaming, to expand even further, especially for BNB Chain. Thanks a lot for sharing. Next up, it will be cellular. So we had a lot of chats together, Eric. So we love to learn more about fully on-chain game. That is very impressive to see cellular's success on OPBNB being a fully on-chain game. So for developers, they are very interested to develop this specific genre. Do you have any insights that you can share on how to build it and how it can potentially evolve in the near future?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. I think this question is not only important for Cellular, but also for all the fully on-chain games. I think despite the considerable hype surrounding on-chain games, it has been proven challenging to pinpoint the precious unique advantages they offer. And I think, in my opinion, the key of on-chain gaming lies into creating the permissionless game mechanism revolving around asset. So the standard reasons for the lack of the breakout success in the on-chain gaming is unprepared of the technical infrastructures, causing most games to remain stuck at the proof of concept stage. Luckily, we have a clear understanding of how to address these issues. The OPBNB and the other layer 2s processing the roll-up scalability and can cost reduction is evident to the majority of the crypto community. And I think additionally, the numerous teams are dedicated to deploying the game specific infrastructures. And for Cellular, we are more interested in deep dive into the game mechanism design. And we think most on-chain games are now zoomed into the optimism future at the higher resolutions, but we are more interested in the getting specific about the nature of the on-chain games. That means how can we cultivate the unprocessed creativity and game mechanisms that push boundaries, mirroring the emergence of the MakerDAO and Uniswap in DeFi. Maybe we don't need to learn from the traditional games. We need to offer the experience the users have never experienced in the Web2 game and Web 2.5 games. And we have do some research on this, and we will publish an article about how to design the game mechanism of fully on-chain game and what we listen from the game mechanism of border game. So I hope this could be helpful to other developers of the fully on-chain game, and let's push the boundary together. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Eric, for Stellar. Definitely, I'm very interested in this genre because it's like a new evolution of games appearing, right? And the document that you mentioned, it is probably on your Twitter, right? So definitely check out, and then I think it will help developers a lot in this hackathon. So let's go on to the final question for all three projects. So we are still, like I mentioned, Web3 gaming is very new in this industry. BNB Chain is fully supporting building up the Web3 gaming scene within our ecosystem. So we would love to hear more about the strategies and the roadmaps of each project on how you guys attract and enhance Web3 adoption when you are building on BNB Chain. So yeah, or any advice that you want to give the gaming developers hearing in right now. So maybe we can start off with gaming.
Yeah, sure. So I think like what we focused on in terms of how we make sure that we onboard like the next however many people into gaming, into Web3, we should say, is we really just focus on putting all the Web3 jargon, the Web3 sort of like interactivity on the back end. We treat it as the technology that powers the platform. And in terms of the UI, we really just focus on making it super user friendly so that anyone who has no, even someone that has no Web3 technology could come and use the platform. Like for example, and this is like the validation, we currently have a number of, we currently top a number of categories on DApp Radar for highest on-chain activity. And that being said, 99% of our users are all Web2 natives. Like they actually have no idea that we run on Web3 tech. You know, by that definition, I guess we're the epitome of mass adoption. And so for us to really drive more people into Web3, and we've driven already 300,000 new people who created wallets, which is amazing. We think that that's what the focus has to be. We are also like, making sure that we integrate our esports organization into everything that we do. So we actually have like a thing called the Coliseum coming up soon. And what this is like almost like a membership of sorts to allow any fans of our esports organizations to come in and really just interact with everything that we're doing on the Gaming Gladiators esports side. So like there'll be premium content, for example, there'll be like exclusive fan engagement, special autograph souvenirs, and that's just to name a few of those, right? And there'll be different tiered badges for different rewards and whatnot. And so for us, it really is about engaging our user base. And we find that if you do focus on like the understanding of like user interactivity and focus on like, I guess like the user flow, you'll have a greater success at being able to onboard more people into Web3. And so for us, that really is the key. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. Obviously, like once we launch GMRX, our token, we'll have a greater advantage in terms of being able to reward users for their interactivity, right? And that's what token incentivization really helps with, like in terms of like community growth and onboarding of users. Like it's kind of like an unprecedented tool for user onboarding as well, which is amazing, right? And so for us, that's really what we're focusing on and how we're sort of like onboarding. And yeah, I guess that the takeaway is to like just focus on the user interactivity, treat everyone as an everyday gamer, and focus by putting like more seamless experiences together by making sure all the Web3 not only tech but jargon is on the back end.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Like throughout the last 1 year, I do think that the user experience and the UI is very important. Like as a gamer myself and you, we're gamers, we know that if your interface is very like unuser friendly, gamers just give up. They don't play it or stuff. So getting it seamless is so important. Thanks for sharing. So next up, maybe Yoshi can share any of your future roadmaps or strategies of adoption at Night Chronicles.
Sure. BNB Chain has great technical infrastructures and also supports and many users with a well-founded ecosystem. As a website gaming project, we'll look for a way to contribute to BNB Chain ecosystem so our game and its ecosystem to grow together. We work closely with the PancakeSwap and like Layer 0 to bring our users to interact and enjoy benefits from BNB Chain's ecosystem. And that is basically our strategy to attract and enhance adoptions for BNB Chain and also our Nine Chronicle games. So that's not only our advice, not only our strategy to do so, and also our advice to all other projects. So how to find a way to contribute as well as get a benefit from its evolving ecosystem. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Night Chronicles, for sharing. That is very cool. Look forward to more progress of Night Chronicles on BNB Chain. Yeah, last but not least, Eric from Cellular, please share.
Yeah. And we plan to release the latest version of Cellular next month, and we will launch it on the midnight on the next month. So thanks to the highly innovative game mechanism design and community launch approach, we are confident that it will become one of the leading on-chain games across all the EVM chains. And for the developers, I would like to share with some thinkings about how to build a successful project. The product is like a seed, and the operations are like the ongoing process of watering and nurturing. Both the elements are very important. But for the developers, maybe we want to just focus on the product itself and maybe do not pay much more attention to the operations. So therefore, I think thinking from the user's perspective and providing the unique value is the most challenging but valuable things to do for the developers. So let's build it together. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So with this, I would like to share with all audiences, if you're interested developing fully on-chain game and stuff, definitely check out Cellular. And yeah, Night Chronicles, you can download it, play it now. It's kind of a cute game. Definitely check it out. And they are getting high traction as per spoken in South Korea. And last but not least, gaming, I think a very interesting project with esports element, AI elements. All these are very exciting for the new Web3 space that is still growing. We are sure the whole Web3 space will grow more and more, especially gaming, right? Because just to put things into perspective, we know there are 3 billion plus gamers out there, but the total wallets in Web3 is not even a billion or so, right? It's only in the hundreds of millions. And market capitalization wise, the whole blockchain industry is $1 trillion plus. But Microsoft recently getting big into games. They themselves are nearly worth 3 trillion. So definitely look forward to unlocking more potential in Web3 gaming with projects like you guys, Cellular, Night Chronicles, and gaming. So yeah, thank you audiences for tuning in. Thank you for joining this call. Keep a lookout for our hackathon. More stuff will be upcoming, and we will keep this going for the whole year. Look forward to more developers submitting their potential cool projects on board BNB Chain. Thank you.
Thanks, Walter.